talk, Jabber talk. Jabber, 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 jabber talk. Jabber talk, Jabber talk. Jabber, 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 jabber talk. Miss Jabber, Miss Jabber, Jabber talk.
So here we are, and I am so excited. This is the Jabber Talk podcast, our very first one. Ooh! And the hawking person in the room. I'm Jacqueline Malcolm, the host, and then of course we have Pixie, who is my co-presenter, and also the Pixie that is always in the room, and this time she is in the podcast room.
Yes, the Pixie is in the podcast room. I'm in a little box, in a little microphone box.
You've been boxed in the box, that's what I say. So anyway, this is what we do, because we have our radio show that's on the Colourful Radio platform, and we have a couple of shows with them. And we wanted to start our little podcast to talk about some of the little issues that we have. Yeah. Our radio show airs every Tuesday, 10 a.m. till 12 p.m. This one is going to be a 10-minute chat.
Yes, let's be honest, we just like chatting.
We love having
little friendly debates.
Yes,
because when you have them with me, they're friendly, but when you have your debates with other people, they get really heated and strong.
These get really heated. It's just that when you're in a debate with me, then you know, oh yeah, this is actually a really friendly debate, even though it goes really heated.
But you never get angry with me.
I don't get angry with anyone else except for you.
Did you hear that anger?
There, you see. I get angry with Hugh because he doesn't talk sense.
He does. Oh,
Hugh is our co-producer, but also Marva's partner, so I'm allowed to be cheeky. Yeah. And so that people understand that Jacqueline in the room, the host, and Pixie in the room, we're actually sisters.
Yes, we are.
Because they have to understand that, otherwise they'll think we hate each other.
And the abuse.
The abuse that I go through is too much.
Don't call the police, it's blood abuse.
That sounds so wrong on so many levels. Blood abuse.
No, it's going to catch on.
Okay, moving on. So, today we wanted to talk about this thing where, as black people, we love to call each other kings and queens.
Right.
So, especially like if you're in a relationship with someone, the man is the king and the woman is the queen. I mean, there is not one black woman I know who does not refer to herself as a queen. Because, I'm sorry, we are.
Yeah, and we like that.
And we like that.
We feel like queens.
Well, we are queens. We don't just feel like queens. We literally are queens. There is no getting away from it. It's like I was saying the other day. I went to hear Emma, and I can't remember her last name, amazing woman, wrote the book, Don't Touch My Hair.
Oh, yeah.
And, it's all about the black women and our struggle with hair and why it's so important that people of other cultures do not come with their hands and touch our hair. And, she said some brilliant, examples and scenarios of why it's such a big deal. For instance, she was pointing out the fact that, maybe a Caucasian woman with curly hair may say, oh, don't worry, girls, I understand your struggle because I can never control my curly hair or get it straight. And we're like, no, your curly hair has not undergone 500 years of oppression where you've been told you can't comb it because you're a slave, so you don't even get to put products in it or anything or do anything with your hair, where since antiquity, black women, we've been adorning our hair.
Yeah.
And it's like when it first started, when we were first created, the bigger the hair, the higher the hair, the more glorious the hair.
Yeah.
So our hair was always esteemed and beautiful. It is our crowns. And so then to go through the slave trade and then to go through the last 100 years, where even to this day in 2020, a young girl can be expelled from school for wearing her hair naturally.
Yeah.
Expelled from school for wearing your own hair, for not trying to make it look European.
Right.
So, we've been through a level of oppression that is absolutely ridiculous, that even black males don't go through with their hair.
They can do whatever they like to their hair.
Exactly.
They can curl it, they can straighten it,
They
There you go.
can shave it, they can grow it.
I mean, there
they
was a time.
do whatever they like. No one says anything.
Anything. Except, fair enough, there was a time when dreadlocks were not allowed in the workplace. They were made
Right.
to cut them off or they would not get the jobs. But now, as soon as then Caucasian males wanted to wear their dreadlocks,
Right.
suddenly it's a totally
okay.
acceptable. Look at people like Levi Roots.
Mm.
He goes now full dreadlocks and is one of the most wealthiest black men in London.
Right.
So, I mean, in the UK, possibly. So, therefore, it's like...
In London, ergo, UK.
So I say all that to say,
Yeah.
I was in that talk and I leant over to my friend and I said, when will we be allowed to just be? What would the black woman be if we didn't have to keep spending so much time trying to explain ourselves or defend ourselves? What if we, just like any other person on this planet, were allowed to just do whatever we please? We are always held to a different set of rules and standards to anyone else, and we are the most talked about species on this planet, hands down. You cannot tell me we are not.
I could tell you that we're not, but that would be a lie.
Well done, Pixie. And so that's why we know we're queens.
Yeah.
Because if we weren't queens, nobody would care.
Nobody would care. No one would be trying to emanate us. No one would be trying to take us down.
Thank
no one would
you.
be trying to. It's like you were at the theatre the other day and someone felt that it was okay to just push in front of you in
Yes.
this at the bar and then just say, "Oh, I'm sorry," but carry on. And
Exactly.
it's like, yeah, they're always trying to usurp us.
Totally.
Either usurp us or copy us.
Exactly. And if we are achieving, if we are strong, if we are going forward, then we're penalised for it.
Yeah.
We're not applauded for it.
No.
If I was achieving what I achieve as a male, I would be applauded. But because I'm a black female, then the issue of my success is with me.
Yeah.
Like it's a disease, like I've done something
Right.
wrong.
Yeah.
How dare you be so successful? It's
Right.
that kind of attitude. So it's like, how are we going to start living as queens and not be distracted by what everyone else is saying?
Right.
And then at the same time, how are we going to allow our black males to be the kings that they are without them being labelled by society as criminals,
Right.
as down and outers, as they would say in America rather than here in London? I know, because it's like, wait, Jack, you're about to say something that you've never heard anyone in London say. So that's not. You're a down and outer.
I'm not
Actually,
going to say that in America.
I'm not going to say
It's
that.
in your head.
I'm not going to say that. No one has ever said to me, a black man, oh, look at that black man over there.
Oh,
He's a right down and outer, isn't it? I feel, oh no.
Not even in Scotland.
Not even in Scotland. Not even when you're Scottish would you be so... Oh no, it's gone. The accent's totally gone because I'm laughing. You
Good.
can't do the Scottish accent and laugh at the same time.
You say you, but you mean you.
So, this is our conversation today.
Yeah. And I found it a very interesting one because when you said it to you said it to a black man and he said actually
About him being a king.
about
not
him being a
outer.
king, no, about him being a king, and he was saying that puts them under a lot of pressure.
Yes.
And I thought that was really interesting. I thought that was a very interesting point that I hadn't thought. So is this what we've been doing? Just putting them under pressure to perform and to...
Well, because the conversation came out of this thing of why do black men not support black women?
Right.
Because we're going through so much trying to defend ourselves, trying to explain ourselves, trying to get on and be the greatness that we are. We can't help it. It's who we are. Talk to one black woman who isn't an entrepreneur. She can hold down that 9 to 5 and she's still got 3 businesses going on.
Exactly.
And she's still a singer. And she's still a mother. And she's still a wife.
And
So-
she's still picking cotton. It's just...
Stop
No,
that.
I'm just saying that's That's why we were such a big
I see.
commodity.
That's why we're such a big
During the
commodity.
slave trade, it's because we have this ability,
Thank
this
you.
strength
Thank
to
you.
carry, bear, keep going, carry everyone, do everything,
Exactly.
produce everything.
What I discovered when I was studying about the slave trade to write my books and my plays was the fact that what people don't realise is that a lot of the supervisors and the foremen on these plantations were the women, were the black women.
Ah.
They were the head slaves most of the time. Now, because I've written a story about black males, it didn't serve my purpose to bring that into the book. So I didn't bring it out in the book.
Yeah.
But eventually I want to write a play about
story.
the fact of how strong the black women were during even their oppression.
Yeah.
We would still rise to the top because we are exceptional. So this whole conversation with this young man came out of that thing of, why don't black men support us? Why don't they have our back?
Mm-hmm.
We see you as kings, we treat you as kings, and then you let us down. And
you banish us from the country.
There, you call us queen, but then you banish us from the country. Exactly that. And he said, well, here it is. It's because you call us kings and we don't know how to be a king. How do we live up to that? What does that even mean to be a king? And we know that's what you see when you look at us. And because we don't feel it, then we feel like we're failing. Or we're going to fail. We're going to let you down because we cannot live to the standard of a king.
Right.
And that's why he was saying, these are his words, not mine, not making it up. He was saying that's why, therefore, a lot of black males will go to other cultures today and date outside of their culture. Because for anyone else, they don't have to be a king. They just get to be a boy. They just get to be a man. They just get to just be. They don't have to live to any standard. They can literally just get to be whatever they want to be without the pressure of being a king.
Right.
And then it's like, so then the conversation went on a bit. Oh my gosh, should we be teaching them how to be kings? And it's like, wait. It's like, I was thinking, because I used to get triggered. You know, if somebody bumped into me, then I'd trigger. And I'd be annoyed and I'd get frustrated and I'd always have to voice my frustration. And then it's like, well, no, you're going to start behaving like the queen that you know you are. So now behave like a queen. Now, if a queen got bumped on the street, you're not going to expect her to turn around and start dashing off someone's wig and saying what you're doing and start cursing at them. You're going to expect them to just act like a queen.
Yeah.
And just rise above it because you know who you are.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I've never been triggered.
Right.
Ever since then. Ever since I've realised you are a queen. So the issue
whether
is
they
them.
accept you or know that you're a queen.
Thank you.
I know I'm a queen.
Thank you. That's why it doesn't matter with Prince Harry. It's like, oh, we're going to take your title, we're going to take your thing, we're going to do this to you, you're going to pay for your own security. Doesn't matter. By birth, he's the prince.
Yeah.
He knows that.
Yeah.
By birth, he is prince.
Yeah.
And so therefore, you can take my title, you can never say I'm not a prince.
Because I am. Yeah.
By birth. I have the bloodline.
Right.
And that's what we are as black women, as black men. We have from our ancestors. Just don't think about the slave trade. Think about the thousands of years of heritage. From our ancestors, we were always kings and queens. So we are naturally born of a royal priesthood. We are kings and queens. We just have to be it.
Right.
We don't have to believe it. We don't have to say it.
Right.
We just
have
have to
act
be
in
it.
a certain way.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about it this morning, because you know we were going to be talking about it now, and then I was thinking, and I was at first, because when you first told me about what he said, that you know that we put them under this pressure to be kings, and I thought, oh, no, that's right. We should have put them under the pressure, and that should be, you know, we should just sort of like back off. We should just let them be. And then this morning I was thinking about it. Oh, hang on. It's just blamed us. So they're not walking as kings, and now it's another thing that's our fault.
Yes.
Another thing that the angry black woman has done has turned you into, called you a king.
Bad. Yes.
Made you feel bad because we called
calling you a king, and therefore holding you to a standard.
Right.
So someone else can turn around and call you a thug, call you a criminal,
Right.
call you a murderer, call you a rapist, call you an absent dad. They have all these labels for black men.
Right.
And yet, that's okay.
And
You're
that's
okay
okay.
to live to that standard.
They live to, that's what I'm saying. Oh, you see? They live to that standard.
She had a
They
moment.
get called,
If you're wondering what that noise was, she had a aha moment.
Because they get called that and they live to it. Okay, you say I'm a thug, I'm going to be a thug. You say I'm this, I'm going to be this. You say
Yes.
I'm no good, I'm going to be no good.
Yeah.
And it's, I'll show you how no good I can be. But we call them a king and they don't think,
They don't
let
want to
me
raise
live
to that
this
standard. There you go.
And
So
they don't
there
even,
you
it's
are.
not even a standard. They don't have to raise to that standard.
They just have
to
be.
be.
Just be.
Be.
I like
You
it.
walk differently.
You
don't,
thank
it doesn't,
you.
like, you don't need more money in your pocket just because you're called queen.
Thank you. Thank you. They could literally
Walk
strip
differently.
Harry from every single penny. And he could never work again, and he could end up on the street. He would still be
walk like a prince.
He'd still be a prince.
Right.
Because he is. And so therefore, we are kings, we are queens by
Yeah.
birth, by right, because of our ancestry.
And it's just about then, because when we acknowledge that, then we will be kings and queens by character.
Ta-ta!
Dee!
We put the words to right, we put the words to right. We put the words to right, we put the words to right. Can we have that as our last kind of jingle at the end of each of our shows?
Well, if we stop now, then it would be. Let's do it again.
We put the words to... No, wait, I've got to start again.
Done.
And we put the words to right, we put the words to right. Hey! We put the words to right, we put the words to right. Hey, hey!